Welcome to Live at Earth here at Earth Coffee House in TolHouse. I'm Tyson Hughes, photographer, videographer, and creator. Live at Earth is a live audio and visual podcast based on the ambitious and creative people who are in our community. We talk about all things from life, art, and business, all over a cup of coffee. This is Live at Earth, and we hope you enjoy. Natalie Gray is the Youth Service Manager at the Arts Commission. With a focus on creative nonprofits, her experience includes development work at the Toledo School for the Arts. She also works in the Special Events Department at the Toledo Museum of Art during the summer. After graduating from the University of Toledo, Gray took on the role of Youth Service Manager, including the 9th Congressional District Invitational Art Exhibition and Young Artists at Work programs. Her mission is to build confidence in the community with young people and to advocate for arts access. We have the lovely, beautiful outfit, beautiful earrings, gorgeous woman, Natalie Gray.
Hi, Tyson.
How are you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a wonderful weekend at Toledo Museum of Art, and this leads perfectly what I'm going to ask you about. So basically, I went to the Museum of Art by myself this weekend. It was really, it was like one of the most I want to be dramatic. I might be a little dramatic when I say this, but it was very transformative. I will say that. What has been like a breakthrough as you're walking through a Toledo Museum of Art, or just digesting all the creative juices?
Okay.
What's been a breakthrough that you've had from outside looking in?
Your explanation of your experience this weekend is actually helpful for me because the cool thing about the Toledo Museum of Art is that it's free.
Right.
So I get really overwhelmed in libraries, record stores. Back when we used to have video stores, something there's too many options. I want to see everything on the menu.
Exactly.
The cool thing about the Toledo Museum of Art is that you can go anytime and you can just go look at one piece and leave. You don't have to soak it all in.
Right.
I do think going by yourself is the way to go.
It was really cool. It was so cool.
Going with other people, you have to go at their pace or look at what they want to look at, and it's a good way to get to know somebody.
Right.
But also, going by yourself, you can really spend time what you want to.
I was there for hour and 2 hours, I think.
Sure.
It was so great.
You could be there forever and always find something new.
Yeah.
So I think the breakthrough I have is realizing you don't have to appreciate everything right now. It's very overwhelming. You can just do it at your own pace in the way that works for you. I do think there's a little bit of, it's intimidating to go to an art museum and then feel like you have to really take advantage of it. And when you buy a ticket to somewhere, if I pay $25 to get in here,
Girl.
I do feel like I have to spend at least 2 hours here.
Exactly.
Whereas with the cool thing about the Toledo Museum of Art is you can just kind of go casually and enjoy it and leave and come back.
Yeah, because I was walking through, seeing everything. I was just find myself just looking at it. I was looking at a piece. It's okay, let me look back at the blurb. Okay, now let me look back. It was just really cool. Really cool. And would you say that it's an experience that should be, because you think it's an experience that should be often? Do you think it's an experience that should be well, I just really want to know what's your perspective on going there many times, times a month, or you want to go what do you think?
Well, like you said, I'm from here, so we grew up going, and I went to Toledo School for the Arts, so we were kind of spoiled, and we were we're going to the museum again, which is such a privileged perspective to have, because so many people never get to go, or never get to, don't even know we have a Toledo Museum of Art. So I do want to, make it clear that I do not work for the Toledo Museum of Art. Even though we're talking about it a lot, I work for the Arts Commission, which is on the campus in this beautiful Art Deco building, and I'm the youth services manager there. And it used to be a little hospital, and it's a gorgeous, cool building. We share it with the Toledo Symphony. So we're on the campus, but even though we're on the campus, I have not done too many laps in the galleries recently. There was a time when I first moved to that neighborhood where I would go a lot more, but I think it's exercise and reading. It's of course the more you do, the better, but it's sort of over time, your relationship with it gets closer and further away. So
got you.
You're inspiring me to go take a lap by myself.
You should. I really think you should. It was really cool. My favorite piece was, what was it called? A portrait of a freedom fighter. I really think you should go see that.
Okay, thank you. I will.
Go see that. Okay. So your role as a community leader, working at all these different spaces, I'm going to ask you this. How would you say being a community leader in bringing all these creatives together and bringing all these artistic people together, how would you say that changed you?
Well, thank you for calling me a community leader.
Yes, I feel like that's
nice.
Yeah,
to hear.
Yeah, is that not something that's said often?
I don't know.
Huh?
Maybe it is, but thank you for saying it.
We'll go back. Yeah, we'll go back.
How has it changed me bringing people together? Well, I work with youth, so for the Young Artists at Work program, it's in its 29th year, and we're starting to have kids whose parents were in the program. So I think the way it changes me is I'm about to start my 5th year with the program, and kids come back year after year, and staff does too, and a lot of alumni come on to be staff. So being able to watch a young person
come a little bit closer
year after year.
There you go.
And over time, that's really an honor because it's such a pivotal time when you're experimenting with identity and hopefully building confidence, but it could go either way. So to see a young person start as a 14-year-old who is shy and insecure and then graduate as an 18-year-old really going off to college and becoming a role model for their peers, I mean, that is the most impactful thing for me and how it's changed me. It's also, practice. And young people are our most valuable resource. Literally. So
I want to really make something clear to you, like how necessary people like you are, because like growing up as like a creative and like an artist, I was like very like sheltered and I was very like alone. And I think I wish I had growing up was somebody like leading. They didn't have to be like an artist, but somebody just leading, like holding my hand, or not even holding my hand, but just be like, hey, you're doing it. Like whatever you're doing it. You don't need to feel like what you're doing isn't valid. And I feel like what you're doing is so cool. And I really appreciate you guiding all these people, guiding all these young artists at work and letting them know that whatever the work that they're doing is valid. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Tyson. I mean, you're a young person working in the arts, so you're an example to them of what they could be. And I think we're dispelling the myth that there are starving artists. I mean, there are people who are making art. Everything is designed. And, they're really talented. And so it's important to say, hey, your ideas matter and have value, and we can actually transform the city that we live in with those ideas if you're willing to share them.
Exactly.
And we'll pay you.
Right.
And you get to meet other kids like you. So if you said you felt alone, I mean, the thing about Young Artists at Work is it's the weird, air quote, weird kid from every school. And then they come in and then they realize, oh, I'm not that weird, or everyone's like me here. And, a lot of young people never get that opportunity. So that's really fun to see. And also it's a class clash as well, because we hire kids from low to moderate income households that take 3 buses in the morning to get to work. And then there are kids who dropped off in Teslas. And that's also the first time they're kind of confronted with their own class as well, which is not on purpose, but is an interesting byproduct of the program.
Many different sorts of people in the same medium, which is really cool. I want to ask you, how do you check in with yourself and how do you stay afloat? Because I would say being somebody who is guiding all of these people, that can have a lot of weight. And I want to ask you, like, how do you keep yourself in check mentally? And like, how do you just keep yourself
Assuming I keep myself in check mentally. Rude.
Real.
That's a good question. As if I'm supposed to. Well, I will say, like, being around art and art making is helpful. It's a healthy. We kind of joke that it's like putting the medicine in the peanut butter. It's like healthy for you. So that's important. It's funny that we're recording a podcast right now because I listen to podcasts all the time, like too much. And I think one of the things of COVID is like just wanting to constantly have distraction, so you're not thinking about stuff all the time. So I don't know if any of you constantly consuming something, but I always have people in my ear talking about nonsense. So that's a bad coping mechanism maybe. But how do I check in? I think I'm a very extroverted person, so spending time with people makes me feel better. And so just trying to be more intentional about, I have a lot of love in my life, so getting to see those people makes me feel better and is more helpful. Moving your body
real
is help. I should do that more often. Excellent question, Tyson.
Yes, move your body more, please. I was gonna say, because something that I've noticed not post at all.
Senior year of COVID.
Going into collegiate. I think I've noticed, like, I've been like swallowing everything, and what I mean by that is I have seen like everything that I like, even like come into contact with, whether it be like work or friendship wise. I just want to like really like bring everything in to like distract myself. And I didn't realize I was doing that for like a long time. I think I had the realization like I don't know when I had it, but I was just like, oh, I need to like slow down.
Well, I would say you were a teenager when this all started.
Oh,
so I
Jesus,
think there's
yeah.
definitely an effect of, I don't want to miss anything because it could all be taken away at any second. And so there's an element of like, we have to go to this event because what if everything gets canceled again? Like subconsciously we kind of fear like a much more existential fear of missing out, FOMO. So that's...
Not just being therapy. Wait, I don't think we need this right now.
Well, I think you're not alone in that instinct. Yeah. I really did do as much as possible before everything shut down. So I didn't really feel like I took it for granted because I was like, well, I didn't miss anything before. And then when it all shut down, I was like, all right, so time to slow down.
Again, being this amazing community leader, how do you trust the process of change?
Trusting the process of change in the arts. Okay, well, change is inevitable.
Of course.
So I really don't get too comfortable in anything because it's never been the same twice. And personally in my work, I did 1 year in 2019. Every year since we've been redesigning because of, viral diseases.
Right.
So it's never been the same once, and I've never been able to get comfortable year after year in the same, even doing the same job. So change is inevitable, and I think it's just important to not resist it because the people who resist change don't grow. And what's the point if not to grow? The other thing that you kind of touched on is the larger funding landscape of the arts, which, can change from administration to administration. And I will say we do live in a great place and
1000%
for that because, when everything shut down, I was like, okay, well, I guess we're done and live music is over and theater is over and opera is over and performing arts. It's like, well, I really missed those. So, but what we had was great leadership in our city to advocate for funding. So we actually kind of got an influx of more investment due to COVID relief because of people like Mark Folk and the Toledo area cultural leaders and the county commissioners and the city of Toledo administration that actually really wanted to invest in the arts and in youth as COVID relief to sort of try to counteract everything we lost in those years. So I had like a doom mindset, and then turns out people will rise to the occasion to try and offer relief grants for artists. And the one thing that I think about this a lot, the one thing that every culture throughout time and space has in common is art and God. So the only things that we know will maintain when we're trying to study another culture, we look at their art, we look at their customs, we look at, we're trying to put together stuff from history or just even when we go to other places, that's what we're interested in. So art is never going to go away, even if the formal support does.
I love that answer. I really, really love that answer. When everything is all said and done, what's one thing by the time you have one wish, what's that one thing you could change about the art space to make it better when you leave?
Well, I'm kind of over trying to tell people like that it's it is a serious career. The arts is a serious career.
Right.
And I can't believe we're still like trying to convince the cultural narrative is that it's not. That is so archaic and old. So I'm a little bit done with that just because, we'll be interviewed by someone and they'll say, oh, it's not even a real job, which is very insulting to a lot of artists who, it's very hard because it's your personal work. So I hope that the social narrative of art not being real hard work changes because art is real hard work. And you have to be really brave to do it, and it's worth a lot, and we should invest in it. So that is probably that's my answer today.
Okie dokie.
Thanks, Tyson.
Amazing. That was an amazing answer, and I fully agree with that because for people who are shooting this video, people who are on this microphone, we are all valid in what we're doing, and we should be.
Earth, TolHouse, Creatio, and all their other sister companies. I mean, that's art. That's artists.
These are all creatives and artists, and we deserve to lead the lives that we want to lead.
This shirt, your tattoos, it's all art.
All of it. So, well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody here at Earth today. Thank you so much, Natalie.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye.